right, so we're live. So I'm going to be waiting for a few people to show up. We're at 0 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So today, with my channel, I deal specifically with Section 8, HUD housing, and a lot of different types of vouchers. And most of you know me from YouTube. There are hundreds of videos that I've made. I help people that need housing, and also people that need rental assistance. So, and I also want to mention my video producer in the corner over there. That's Pops. He suffers from narcolepsy. He often sleeps on the job. And so I think right now he's having one of those episodes. So that's my cat in the back. So I want to start by recognizing a few people that have contributed to the channel by getting a membership. If something like that interests you, you can always find the join button on the main page. But let's see, Christy Phillips, Brittany Williams, and Sandy March, and Michelle Dofelis. These are new members of my channel. It just entitles you to some good benefits. And of course, when you need something like consulting and other things, I usually give you guys priority. You've always been good to me, so why not? So, the primary focus really of the video is going to be about questions and answers for Section 8 and housing choice vouchers. And, there are hundreds of types of funding levels that people need in order to get vouchers. And so there's a big process to go through. I know that some HCV manuals are around 1,100 pages. There's a lot to read. It's taken me nearly 2 decades to read through that. Data manuals, operations manuals, read all the legislation, and then you stack that by 1 or 2 decades, and you can see how that goes on. I work with a lot of landlords, and sometimes they have 30, 50 units, and some of my bigger landlords have 200 to 500 units, and I have to coordinate with housing authorities and other nonprofits and basically make connections with directors. And so, one thing I want to tell you guys is when you're dealing with people that make videos on YouTube and Google, and they're making offers for you to buy videos, one shoe fits every foot. I would be cautious with that, okay? An established relationship with me, just for instance, the one I just finished in California, the Rio Mirada villas, that's 200 units, okay? It's a very complicated process, building all that out, getting all those tenants in there, screening all those people, and then building relationships with over 32 different organizations. Plus the marketing is not so simple. So you're dealing with a lot of different people. And I've got to tell you, even with that property recently, I deal with a lot of different personalities. Every type of voucher brings around a different type of person. They may be homeless. They may be a veteran. They may simply be low income. They could be a senior. They could be extremely disabled. They could suffer from other physical disabilities, mental disabilities. They could be a HAPWA participant, which is a person with HIV or AIDS. And that list goes on. I mean, you even have BAWA, which is for women and or other adults that have been affected by domestic violence. So you have to deal with every situation in a different way. So I find it kind of highly unusual when I see people charging a lot of money, to give tips to a landlord, and everybody's supposed to log in and watch a video, for an hour or two, and that's going to solve your problem. Let me tell you something. That process is complicated. You're not going to get all the answers you're looking for in that way. So, Man on the Moon. All right. Thanks for chiming in. So, good to see y'all guys. Hopefully more people show up. I probably didn't let people know quick enough when this was going to happen. So I'm doing another one Saturday. I'll give you guys some advance warning. And then hopefully you'll be able to ask the questions and things that you'd like. So for now, while we wait for more people to show up, because I'm going to be talking for a while, I'm going to mention, the rental assistance. I've been helping you guys now. Let's see. It's been 4 months. I'm wore out. I'm burned out. I've had enough. I know I took a little vacation for 4 days, and I didn't get it. I'm still very much wore out. So I'm going to be that's going to end today. I'm no longer going to be taking consults for rental assistance. If you're already on my schedule, then I will finish that out. But as of April 1st, I can't handle it. It's 14, 15 hours a day. And it's been going on for months, 3-4 months. And it's tremendous strain on me. And, and that's in combination and in lieu of all the other people that I'm trying to help personally. Looks like we got a comment here. Plus, my family is living in a hotel, and we need to figure out something quick. So, when you want to deal with housing on a quick level, you want to stay away from the housing authority. Even with somebody with my talents that can get somebody through there 8 months to a year, possibly a couple of years. The quickest solution is, if you're imminently homeless, then applying through CES or COC, which is Continuum of Care Coordinated Entry System, better known as Housing First. Every city has a different version. Unfortunately, there's not a universal way to address that. That's why I tell people it's usually best to contact me, and then we first work on giving the right answers. Let me tell you something. These systems are not designed to be fair. They give assessments, and there's a lot of tricky questions built into that, okay? That's how they thin the herd. Otherwise, it would be a run on housing if everybody knew the answers. And getting these things, I have to compel all these housing authorities and COCs to give me their operations manuals and different things. So I do federal requests, open public requests to get these things. So I've got thousands of manuals. So I know both the questions, the answers, and how you would likely need to answer that. I've seen real homeless people actually fail to get housing because they didn't give the right answers. So anytime you have politicians make rules for homeless people and low income, you see what the disconnect is there. So my advice is, if you don't know what you're doing, maybe the best thing is hiring a consultant. I'm not here to sell my services. I'm just mentioning that. So, so you'd want to look up Continuum of Care or Coordinated Entry, followed by your city name, and then see if you can get a hold to somebody in your city to give you an assessment for housing. Okay, so that would be RRH, Rapid Rehousing, or PSH, Permanent Supportive Housing, and then you might do well with that. Okay. No, moving on. As all you know, after, like I said, about two decades of doing this, I'm rolling out a website finally. I already had one, but it was a very basic one from Weebly, of all things. Poor, sad little old website, and I've had it for years. It was just designed to give people access to links and information. It was never designed to sell myself or any service. So I did purchase Section 8. Consulting.com. So section, then the number 8, and then consultant.com. And I've got a full stack developer working on that as we speak. I keep getting emails about that. He's working, putting plugins and doing design work. Make no mistake, it's going to be a beautiful site. I'm definitely like anybody else. I don't want an ordinary site. I want something that's going to really jump out and I've had to wait this long, so I feel that it's appropriate. A lot of landlords are trying to reach out to me. They don't want to buy $400 videos, when they log in and hear some tips and tricks. They actually want to be able to go through the process, learn it, and then be able to handle it on their own. So, and after doing this with hundreds of landlords, I've got about 30 landlords, and if I combine the value of everybody's property, so 30 landlords with all their properties, and we sold all those properties, we would easily cross 100 million. So, it's not that hard. 200 units, you can spend 20 million easy. So you can imagine how quickly that adds up. But like I said, I don't own those properties. All I do, my only job is remotely is to interview the clients, make sure we get the right type of vouchers and the right type of clients, make sure that we're actually in recovery. We're not currently a drinker or a drug addict. We're not going to turn tricks out in the apartment, stuff like that. I'm very serious when I talk to these clients about that stuff. If I don't feel like you're in the right place, I would turn you down. And I'm in charge as of now, thousands of units in several states. In fact, we're going to be moving on to 10,000 units pretty soon. I know the current mortgage company that I'm dealing with is a big one, and they're looking at 10,000 units over a period of time. And that's going to be a hell of a responsibility, to be honest with you, trying to run all those applications. So let me check some questions here. I finally caught you on live stream. Yes, Trend Trader. Man, he's been around for a while. He's a good supporter of my channel. I'm glad you caught my sneak peek. I'm going to be doing this again, Trend Trader, Saturday. So it's kind of like I'm doing it intentionally, so I don't have to get too many questions, Alex. Oh, yes, Alex is another one of my good supporters. We talked recently. Can't stand all the call and emails I've been getting for looking into different programs. Well, housing is one of those things, like going to DMV. It's designed to be a pain in the ass, and only the people that manage to survive all the bullshit actually get through it. I always warn you guys, it's never an easy task. There's one great advantage with my clients compared to others. You actually walk into the situation with the manuals and the answers, and you know exactly what to do. And the average person virtually has no chance, unless you're dating somebody at the housing authority, and you know how that rig system works. But Yeah, it's not designed to be easy. I mean, I wish it was like going to Macy's, maybe they pour you a cocktail and, have a good time and maybe a few hors d'oeuvres, but no, it's actually, we all know it's tough. So I'm not picking on you. Let's see. Is that chat specifically for Section 8 only? I sent you an email earlier today hoping to get penciled in with him. I'm working through them. So as you guys know, 4 months now, working 14-hour days has been difficult, and an average 200 emails a day. What really compounds the problem is I do have certain clients that will email me about every 5 minutes. So in a single day, I get 40, 50 from one single client. You see how that goes badly for me? I do care about a lot of people, regardless of their mental deficiencies, but I'm working through the list at a normal pace. I wanted to make a video for our channel right now because it's been a while, so I wanted to address my members and all that. But yes, I'll be checking that email and getting back with you. Most people know that I answer within a few hours or within 24 hours, so no worries there. We'll get you straightened away. Twin Trader, awesome. Love to set you up. Cool, good deal. Now, I want to mention again my studio operator there, my video consultant. That's Pops over there. He sleeps with the new toy. Suffers from narcolepsy, constantly sleeping on the job, but I don't have a big enough heart to fire him. So, and he's one of 20 cats that I have. So it always makes for an interesting day. And I got to tell you, man, all these hours I've been working, not being able to visit with family, do anything. The only thing I do is talk with people by email and phone from about 3, 4 in the morning all the way to about 10 o'clock at night. And I got to tell you, you start to blur reality after about 4 months. So I'm glad to get rid of the rental assistance part of this because I got to tell you, man, I won't do that again. I mean, that was 900, okay? And I didn't even reach another 1,000. 900 people. I mean, if they thought I could do it 24 hours a day, they would ensure that I never took a shower, even went to sleep. People sometimes only care about their own interests. I get it. Let's see. Ready. Oh, well, no, Mr. Reddy's been around a long time. So thanks for chiming in, man. I know you've been in my channel for quite a while too. So it looks like we've got a lot of members here, people that I've recognized for a number of years, and a lot of comments. So yeah, I'm glad to catch you too, Reddy. Hey guys, if y'all got answers, if you got questions, always ask. Otherwise, I'm going to carry on. I'm in a real good mood today. I know that last video, I had to let a lot of people have it. I got sick of attitudes. Thank you. This is very informative. Oh, well, welcome to the channel, True Trust. Yeah, so we're working through questions and answers. I mean, I got about 150 videos. I try to help people as best I can. Most of you guys know that I did this for 6 years for free before I became before I started charging for consulting. So, any of you guys that are popping in just found me. I do offer professional consulting. Let's see, 30 minutes for about $40. Pretty good deal. My success rate's around 97%. So most people do actually get housing. It's only my tougher cases that takes a long time. So, yes, sir. Just transferred 211 in Oregon. Let me tell you something about 211. Okay. Imagine imagine hiring people off Craigslist. Okay. These people behind the keyboard, they're trained to only do one thing: tap keys. Now, one thing's exciting is I know one member, actually his son's going to work for 211. So I feel in my heart, this guy's going to do a great job because I know the member and I don't know the son, but I know he's going to do a great job. But most of the workers don't care. So I'm actually excited to have somebody on the inside of 211. I'm actually very thrilled. It's good to have contacts. But I was going to say that a lot of 211 people quit caring a long time ago, and it's very unfortunate because they are absolutely the first contact point for people that are going to be homeless or may go on the street. Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to be taking a break, to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be taking a break for, I guess, about 4 or 5 days. I need to pet my cats, take care of personal things, and I just need to be in a better place. Y'all can see it in my eyes. I'm pretty tired, man. It's this is, I was doing 80, 90 hours a week, and I was on that phone today, and there are days it's just hard. You can drink a gallon of coffee and not even have to. I still can't wake up. So I'm going to be taking a break after I fulfill my consults over the next few days. But after that, I'll be glad to take on new cases. How long does it normally take to send out a voucher after you accept in the air? Okay, so, presuming that you already applied, okay, you gave them the information and they contact you and say, okay, we need to start checking on your details. Once they give you that letter, then it's imminent. So what I mean by imminent is the housing authority is preparing to house you. And to answer your question specifically, if you're not in Manhattan or in LA, it would likely mean that they would like the process to take around 30 to 60 days at best. Another thing is, look, don't sit there and think you're on a timeline. You can't extend these vouchers. A lot of them tell you, hey, you get 90 days or that's the end. Don't ever believe that. You can always extend it. If they give you some grief, always contact me. I'll appeal that process, and then we'll turn it into 6 months. Some more questions. Yes, ma'am. Been into Man on the Moon. All right. Well, I remember you, Man on the Moon. You've been coming around for a little bit now, and yeah, I actually do. Welcome to the channel again, man. Good to see you commenting. So we'll get somebody else. So rental relief, yes. Guys, y'all getting desperately close to the end of that line. The reason that I'm giving it up myself is because I'm noticing states are starting to shut it down as quick as they're opening it, and I'll see what I can do for you. Simply, you caught me. You caught me live, so I mean, I'm not going to obviously turn you down, but I'll help you with that. But I've got to tell you guys, when April 1st comes, if you're not on my books, I'm shutting it down, okay? It's consumed my life. I'm no longer going to do 80, 90 hours a week to do this. I realize nobody else is probably doing it, and a few other people I've seen, I think their motives are not as good as mine. So you do take some risk out there with people, collecting information, and boy, if they run up with your driver license, Social Security, God knows, I could go buy a new car with it. So I want to tell you some other things. So besides the website, that's going to be rolling out for the summer, a couple of months, and maybe I'll work through it quicker. So I'll be nationwide dealing with a lot of landlords, and I'm going to remain doing tenants. That was the whole point 15 years ago, was to help people get up and off the street. And for those of you that are just ordinary people struggling with housing, getting you through the system. You would think, after I've read almost 1 million pages worth of content, material, legislation, housing authority manuals and data manuals, operation manual, and all that, there's probably, I can count on one hand how many people are as good as me, and most of them are on TV. So it's taken a lot, and it's taken decades. That's why attorneys, lawyers, mortgage companies, banks, all of them hire me to blaze their clients through it. Look, you guys don't have to spend 10 years on a waiting list. There's lots of ways to play that game and get through it much quicker. A lot of people say, oh, well, now you've got to be lying. Well, let me tell you something. On that community page, why is there a row of housing authority letters? How did I manage to get hundreds of housing authority letters with people that managed to get in less than a year? How did I do that? I wasn't buying them. So you can either produce results or you can't. If I survived 6 years on YouTube, and every video is near 100% with no dislike, and I haven't been trashed for being a scammer, I can tell you my reputation stands alone in this nation. There's not many that are as good as me. Let's see some more questions here. Okay, thank you. Well, I got you. Like I said, I'll get with you. Trust. Jungle Beast, man, it's been a while since I've heard from you. Where have you been? You got one of the more unique names. I haven't seen you in the comment section later, so I'm glad to see you up here in the chat. So we're just kicking along, talking about Section 8 and housing, and I'm blending in channel updates and keeping an eye on the kitty back there, one of 20. So I mean, talking about that vacation, yeah, I've got to have it, guys. 80, 90 hours a week for 4 months, I'm good. I don't want to do that for a while. I want to go back to making videos normally and consulting on a normal level. So yeah, this is the hardest thing. That's the hardest I've probably ever worked in my life. But I got to tell you, it was a rewarding experience. I think we recovered around $2.2 million. I didn't do it personally. I helped people get through the process, and a lot of people were able to get their rent. A lot of people weren't. Okay, so I'll be perfectly frank. The ending numbers were more about 89% did. And about 12% absolutely fell in their face with that, okay? Things will always happen, but I'm always honest about stuff like that. I don't need to hide that, and I don't need a 5-star reputation. I'll take 4.5. Let's see. Yeah, you missed a little bit, but I got to tell you, I do a lot of rambling anyways, and I say the word okay a lot, so you probably didn't miss a lot in the beginning. So, but yeah, no, and somebody mentioned 20. Yeah, I do have 20 cats. So, I'm one of those big-hearted people, just like with human beings, when I've got mothers and babies and things that are living under bridges, I help them. I can't sleep at night unless I can. So you can imagine how much I care about cats. I'd spend $1,000 to save a cat. I actually did. So I care about these cats. People buy pets, they think they're toys, and then they throw them, when they move, they throw them outside like trash. Now, here's the deal. We all know that cats have existed since Egyptian times. Sure, I get that. They can make it, all right? But here's the deal. Here's an animal that's created a personal bond, that cares and has loved on you. You loved on it, and then you kick it out the fucking door. So now the cat is destitute. It has no friend. It has no love. It doesn't even understand what the hell is going wrong. Thankfully, animals aren't as sensitive as humans. So what I do is I try to make a respite for my cats, So I don't want to go too deep into that, but yes, I care about all animals, including cats. So, Boro, I've been trying to get things in order. Well, you better, Major. You better get it in order, man. This is pandemic time. Now, the government cash machine's closing down, guys, this summer. That free rent, stimulus checks. We're all going to be 1 foot from the street, and there won't be any more government checks and stimulus. You guys better get your business straightened out soon. It's going to be tough times coming ahead. We just ran up $8 trillion worth of debt in this country. So, and I expect the next second wave of people that are freshly going to lose their apartments and homes to hit in about a month. And I'm probably going to end up being burned out again over that, because I try to help as many people as I can, because it really does break my heart. I don't just, it's not just people, just ordinary drug users, alcoholics that end up on the street, man. Man, I've got seniors, elderly people, mothers that just had a baby, man, like 8 weeks ago. And they're literally telling me, look, I'm sitting on the sidewalk. So you can imagine, how do you even sleep? How do you sleep? So I try to help as many as I can, but I got to tell you, this channel and the number of people that come to me for help is definitely outgrown just me. And I'm looking at some options to get somebody to help me. But how do I teach somebody 15, 20 years of experience overnight? I can't exactly throw them on the phone and tell them, be a consultant. So I'll have to figure something out. New payment methods. So I'm from the old school. I'm from the new school too. So we will be doing Bitcoin. I'm adding that. Hopefully I don't mess it up and send it to the wrong place. And then, we have PayPal, Zelly, Venmo, I think they call it, and the Cash App. Cash App's had a very scammy reputation, so I was very apprehensive about adding that as a way to pay me as a consultant, but it's so far worked out. So, like I said, the Cash App's had a pretty bad run. Let's see how many more questions we got here. Looks like it's quiet now. So back to the housing end of this. One thing I'm going to be rolling out is a lot of landlord videos, okay? So this hasn't been addressed on YouTube, and what I see is a whole lot of bullshit on YouTube. And I mean bad stuff. These are people that go around Google and search, and they copy and paste, and then they all of a sudden become a professional. I was telling you guys, look, district manager, regional manager for several big properties, several hundred units. And I've seen people send landlords in the wrong direction with this. Look, you have to train the landlord also to be good with the tenant, okay? So it's a two-way street. You cannot simply make some introductory video for $400 and expect people to get good tenancy. What are you going to do? Are you going to throw your phone in the river when the landlord says, well, thanks, you helped me move in a lot of prostitutes and drug addicts? You have to be careful how you handle people. And when you start making videos on YouTube, you need to know what the hell you're doing. So, back to the Section 8 housing. We're well funded. I think we stand at close to, I think it's 50 billion now, 50 to 61 billion put into housing and marketing and vouchers. And Mr. Joe Biden, or President Joe Biden, should be later this year rolling out the universal housing voucher. Anybody with a low income could likely apply. It doesn't mean that you're ever going to find housing. We barely have housing now. And so when you have a universal voucher that would allow anybody with no criteria to get it, other than just being low income, it'll likely flood the market. My big concern this year is, with this pandemic, it's exasperating the problem. We've seen a 20, 30% increase with people losing their home. Okay. And they have nowhere to go, no job. And now this new, we're starting to go into a fourth phase, another wave of this. And my concern is young adults, We've all been there when we're young, and, they want to party, go out to South Beach, and unfortunately, they become victims of their own intelligence, or lack thereof. And so I'm dealing with a lot of young adults right now making bad decisions, and now they're homeless or near homeless or almost on the way out. Look, if you're calling me from the street, then that should indicate to you probably have made some big mistakes already. Okay, guys, I need you young folks to start calming down. Let's see. I had to call just to see who this is. Huh. Well, Miss Carter, or Sandra Carter, she's a member of the channel, been around for a while. I'm very much familiar with her case as well. Looks like we've got mostly just members. I'm fine with that. Good to see you, Miss Carter. So we're just talking about Section 8, talking about the cat in the back and landlords and vouchers. I was telling you guys, hey, let me tell you something unique, guys. So about these vouchers, we know there's about 132 different types out there. Okay, these are funding levels. It's one piece of paper, but funded by many different programs. A lot of you guys don't realize, but people that the United States Justice Department, the Secret Service, the American Red Cross, who else? FEMA. They also have the ability to grant vouchers, And so I always tell landlords, when you think you've learned it all, you haven't. Trust me. You can end up getting clients that are from a lot of other different programs. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, that's another way you can get them. There's also another backdoor through mental health, county health, for those of you that suffer from mental problems. I don't know if you guys know that, but when you're going to your city and you're actually going to a county health facility that's owned by the county or the state, some of those caseworkers have the absolute ability or a hotline basically into the housing authority, and they can grant what they call special use, which means with one simple call or email to them, they could issue you a voucher. I call them, mythical unicorns, because most people don't realize all the backdoor ways you can get a voucher. And I don't care if the waiting list is closed or not. The way the law and legislation is set up, about 20% of all vouchers are in reserve. They're never going to publish that on the front door of the housing authority. So even if they close 15 years, I can assure you they have drawers full of vouchers. They're just being very cautious about who they give them to, and they're not going to make an announcement. Otherwise, it'd be a rush on the building. So you see now why landlords hire me a lot to run their clients through there. You have to know, what needs to be said and how those applications need to be filled out in order to meet those criteria. But there's a lot of ways you could never imagine. It took me 15 years to pick this apart. So it's more than just being low income and having a bunch of kids. Trust me, let me tell you something. That'll earn you about 1 point. There's so many things into this, and a combination of all the manuals is around 100,000 pages. So if you think one manual is 1,100 pages, so for each type of funding level, 1,000, 2 to 5,000. So how do you think you could reach 100,000 pages? I'd have to read just an ACB funding levels. Okay, it's not even including the rest of the stuff that goes with this. All right, more questions. Thank you for this, and that's from M7 Global. Hey, I appreciate you having me on the channel. I'm just kind of carrying on normally, talking about housing and different things of interest to people. Hopefully, sparking some interest for people that want to get housing, or if you're a landlord out there wanting to get involved and get some decent tenants. I'm proud to say right now, the Rio Marana Villa is 200 units. I've been working on it for about a month, and we're almost, I think, at about 40% capacity. I've screened a lot of people. So in addition to my long days, I also have to sit there on the computer and accept all the emails from the property manager. Since I'm the district manager at most of these properties, the property manager send them to me, and then I approve whether or not they're good people. Then I have to pick up the phone, call them, and it's quite the process to screen out the bad ones. I try to give people chances, but I mean, if you recently became a prostitute or drug addict or gang member and other things like that, I will screen you. And if I believe you've had enough time in between that problem and what it is currently, then I might let you on one of my properties. That's what makes me different. I understand the system and people, so I'm fair. Other landlords see something on your record or your credit and all that, they're not interested. Voucher or not, they'd rather not. They have their own vision of things. So it's a good damn thing somebody like me that understands people in the system. I talk to people all the time that are very humble. Let me tell you something. A lot of these people that have committed criminal crimes and other things, they're very ingratiated to have housing when I give it to them. I call them. I talk to them like they're my own kids, or my own friends. And I tell them, look, you have a special condition. I don't want to see you drunk out here. If I detect that you're, coming on the property and you're high and other stuff, or I see people come in and out of there, I'm going to put you out with a 3-day notice, okay? Because nobody else is going to give you a chance. So I'm all about that, including helping veterans and domestic violence victims and different things. So a whole lot goes into all this. My library, I've been promised to show you guys, contains around 1,300 manuals, not including books, and it's just going back over every housing authority and all the legislation and everything. So if you wonder where I get my information, I've actually created almost a sub degree in this stuff by pretty much collecting all the information probably ever printed about the subject. So, all right. So I don't see any more questions. So I'm going to move on to some other things. Besides that website, I think I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to start doing landlord videos. I want to push down some of these really bad ones. Okay. I see a lot of, that's the thing about it. You know, when you get into YouTube just to make monies, nickels, dimes, and pennies to make a video, you lose perspective. Okay. I never really did it for money. Money was not the object of my interest to share information, but a lot of these guys it is. And so I see a lot of videos, man. Look, they're just copying the same bullshit you see all over Google. All of it's misinformation. It's like it starts with somebody that gave great advice, and the more they spread it, the worse it gets. So by the time it gets to one of these YouTube creators, the advice I'm listening to is like listening to a wino in a park. You know, it's it completely de-evolved the trash. I mean, there's just nothing left to it, and they don't even realize it. And they think that they're making some fabulous video about how they're going to get somebody into housing. And I suspect some have even called me to, get information off me, which I'm fine with that. If I think they can help somebody, I think that's fantastic. So, what else we got? So, besides that, on the voucher end of that, I think we were talking about FEMA and Red Cross. And then there are some other backdoor ways. If you've ever been committed to a mental facility that's owned by the state or the county, they're under obligation under state law to provide a housing navigator, and it's a pretty unique way to get housing because while you're spending 3-4 days in there, maybe a week, if you tell them they're homeless, then they're obliged by the state in order to set you up with housing. Let's just say it shortens the line. So rather than you wait like ordinary people, they can start pressing your application through while you're being housed in the mental facility. I do not recommend pretending to kill yourself. Go spend a week in a mental hospital to speed up the process, but I'm just saying that it is probably effective. Another question. Okay, so the housing choice voucher. Well, obviously you can use that anywhere. Look, the best. Don't put yourself in a situation with housing choice vouchers where you go to a big corporate landlord. Okay, it always ends badly. They do not have the same interests as me. You know, I manage these big buildings, 300, 400, 500 units. You know, these corporate guys, they don't care. The minute you're late, they're going to put you out. They don't give a shit about your story, your life, your recovering, serving Jesus, going to A, none of that stuff. So if something happens, something falls apart, you know, I don't know. Private landlords are a little bit more liberal, as long as you're paying. Now, when you don't pay, private landlords will get all over your ass and put you out. But I think that might be a better option for you. From a homeless shelter, if you're being housed in a homeless shelter, I would make that transition to a private landlord. Look, we're in a different economy now. Used to, every landlord wanted somebody that had a job and cash to pay the rent. Now, but the pandemic caused a problem. Everybody lost their job. And so now people with a job and cash are pretty much worthless to landlords. They're about to lose their buildings. Most landlords are almost bankrupt because of it. So the script has flipped. People with housing choice vouchers are highly sought after. In fact, 99% of all landlords that called me the last few months say, look, only thing we want are housing choice vouchers, Section anybody that has a government check guaranteed to be direct deposit before I lose my property. And that's coming from every state. So to be honest with you, you really do have a golden ticket with an HCV voucher. You can use it probably anywhere. And I'm pretty sure landlords will probably fight to get it at this point because you're guaranteed you're into the rent. Well, you never know what the hell's going to happen with a normal person that has a normal job who may or may not be able to pay the rent. And then all these memorandums that are blocking landlords from eviction. Look, you don't ever have to go through that with Section 8, you know, in housing choice. I'm going to read another question. I'd like to hit the button. Everyone, let's get the stats up. Oh, I appreciate that, Ready? Yep. I didn't give much people much warning about these live videos. I kind of do it kind of when I'm in the mood, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty tired. My eyes, you can see my eyes are kind of red. I'm not struggling. I feel good now, but I'll probably start to fizzle the minute I get off the video. It's been a long day, and I got to do it again tomorrow. So I'm thinking about doing some Saturday and give you guys some warning, because like I said, the video is really designed just to answer questions, stuff like that, and give you reports about the channel and all that good stuff. So take a few more questions here. Sent my question. Please scroll up. Let's see. Can I use my business as an income for housing choice voucher? Yeah, any legitimate company business. Yeah, you can, but you need to make sure. First thing is you're gonna have to get accustomed to doing good bookkeeping. Okay, and if you don't have receipts for things you're purchasing and buying, let me tell you something about business. Okay, I don't know how savvy you are. Okay. When you get $15 in your pocket, I want you to go down to the county clerk's office, and I want you to walk in there with your ID or your driver's license, tell them that you want a DBA, doing business as. For $15 or $20, that piece of paper they're going to print out and stamp will allow you to be a business, and you'll have a fictitious name is what they call it. Then the second thing you do while you're standing outside is you call the IRS up and tell them you want an EIN. It's free. It's an employer identification number. Those two documents will allow you to operate as a business. Whether you file your tax or not is your business, but those two documents will allow you to do that. It'll also allow you and your business to be able to cash checks as a business. So when you go to the bank, they're going to ask you, do you have a DBA, do you have EIN, and do you have a driver's license? Those three things, you can cash a check under whatever. You can call it Sally's Nails or Big Bob's Carpet Outlet. It doesn't matter. That will help you. You need to give some legitimacy to the housing choice and housing authority. And if you can get those documents, that's going to go a long ways rather than just saying that's what you're doing. So for $15 in a phone call to the IRS, you can get those two documents. And I think that'll help you in your situation. Oh, Miss Carter says she's going to rewatch it. Well, you guys ought to be sick of looking at my big fat head at this. All these videos. I tell you what, guys, go look at some of them old videos. I tell you what, it looks like I was in the broom closet with my mother's flip phone and doing it with candlelight. It was pretty bad. I don't miss those days, trust me. Okay. Now, the thing about businesses from home. Not Section 8, let's just say the housing authority. It really comes down, the housing authority is only providing rent money for you, okay? So they don't play a strong role in what you're doing in the property. Now, the property owners where you're moving to, depending on your study, usually are not going to have an issue with a home business, okay? But if you turn this into Amazon and you start having 50 to 80 packages, going where you're having UPS come and pick up 50 and 80 packages at your front door, that could be a problem. Let me just tell you something. We already know the housing authorities are pretty rigged, right? So why would you go and bother to report it? Look, operate your business, just do it quietly. And they don't have access to your mailbox, okay? That's a federal offense. So landlords can't see what kind of mail you're getting unless it's an old school box where they open it. It has an open lid. So yeah, you could quietly run your business. Just make sure, guys, you're going to report income and keep some accurate records. And it doesn't need to be sophisticated. You don't need a CPA or $300 an hour. Just keep an Excel sheet, keep it on paper, do it old school, whatever it may be. But you guys have got to start operating as a real business and start doing certain things, okay? Look, your taxes on a little business like that are not going to be that much if you know what you're doing. You do not need an LLC, a limited liability corporation, a limited liability company. You can be a sole proprietor. The tax is a little bit more. They'll hit you for 17%. But remember, it's a refund at the end of the year, so okay? Let's take a look here. So, yeah, I think I answered that question about the pampered chef. So, yeah, and you know what? A lot of people supplement their income. If you don't think these people that are 92 years old aren't doing shit in those apartments to make extra money, you're crazy, okay? So this is not a new invention. By all means, guys, look, if you're in Section 8 and you're receiving a Social Security disability check and they tell you can't work, look, you can run a business. Just be very liberal, okay? So I'm not telling you to break the law. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying just be liberal about what you're doing. And remember that even the Social Security disability or Social Security allows you to make up to $800 or $900, I think, a month or maybe a little bit more. So maybe your pencil runs out of ink after you get $800 worth of payments. I think you get my point. Let's see. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's one of my tabbies now. That's Pops. Y'all all seen my Maine Coots. That's the big cat. It's about 35 inches long and weighs about close to 28 pounds. He's not here today. And then there's Mama Blue Eyes. There's technically 20 of them cats. I don't keep them all in the house. They come in the mornings, and some will stay, some don't. I've got one cat, I swear, out of 21. And his name is Yellow Mellow. He's still skittish. Had a bad owner, okay? Did bad things to him. And I straightened him out, got him taken care of, fed him, brought him back to health, got his mind mentally better. And but I still can only get within a few inches of him. Used to, I couldn't get within 10 feet. So, but yeah, I don't let them all at night. Otherwise, my house would be popping with fleas. I do treat them for fleas, but it's impossible. It's an impossible mission with 20 of them. So they come and go. So the cats are trained to be able to be both indoor and outdoor. I like that. It's highly preferable and a hell of a lot less kitty litter. I sent you a question. I'd appreciate an answer. Well, I would love. I'm going to provide an answer, okay? But it sounds a lot like a demand. So I don't know. Am I reading that wrong? You would appreciate an answer. I would love to give you one. Unfortunately, the print, this little chat window I have is very small, so it's hard for me to see that. Matter of fact, David, if you're online, I promise to get eyeglasses. I'm going to do that because it's really hard for me to see. So I will get to that when I can. I assure you. Okay. Thanks for asking my question. So, and that was Brian, Mr. Brian Guerrero, I believe. Brian, I don't see it on the chat window. Did you email it? I'm thinking you emailed it. I don't have my email open right now. I'm trying to just focus on the deal. Hey, look, guys, if you got serious questions, complicated ones, best way to do it is just email me. All my videos have an email somewhere in my channel. You can always find an email. Just email those questions if you need consulting or you need to ask a basic question, okay? But please don't write a whole story. Some people write novels and email it, and then it takes 30 minutes to read all 480 pages. I'm not really a good therapist. I want to help you with housing, so we have to skip past some of the empathetic parts. It's no problem, Brian. I was just joking with you. Look, don't take me too seriously. Look, I know I'm in a pretty good mood tonight. I know you were being reasonable about that. Yeah, I'm going to help you with that. Don't worry. Look, everybody on this channel, over half the people that are in this chat room that know me. They know this channel. I've been on for years. They know that I'm good to people that are good to me and the bad actors I put out. And look, Brian, I'll be happy to help you. Trust me. About the cats, they're doing good. So we're going to be doing a newer version for the universal housing choice voucher to help you guys out. It's going to be implemented different in every city. Okay, so that's that new voucher. That's one voucher rules them all, and that's going to help anybody with low income get it. And I'm hoping to see the legislation on that soon. For the rest of you, it'll be HCB vouchers, Section 811, Section 811, Section 817, Section 202, the NED program, HOPWA, BAWA, HUD-BASH. And I'm not going to carry on too long with that because there's over 130. But I'm going to be making new, fresh videos for that stuff. And we're going to get in depth, okay? Because it's one thing to read about things and then actually know the internal process. And one of the wonderful things about doing something as long as I actually have people that work in the housing authority. And so, I've got a lot of disgruntled workers that are happy to give me the entirety of every manual they've got in the building because they're so sick of how they've been treated in these housing authorities. They're willing to volunteer the whole thing. How do you think I got survived this long, guys? I don't just compel on a federal level to get these manuals. I often get them from housing authority employees. I've got a whole slew of them around the country that are more than happy to give me all the sensitive information that I need, okay? Some of which I can call if I needed help. So do I have a way to buy vouchers? No, I don't do illegal shit like that. But I can tell you that compared to a lot of the talking heads on YouTube, I don't think they really light a match to what I'm able to do for most of my clients. So let's take a look at some more questions. I'm moving to Houston. Well, you know what? You're moving to my town. I'm right here in Houston. And how hard is it to get housing? I just explored that option with another client for Houston, Texas, and Katy. It looks like the better option is not going to be so much Katy. You're going to want to head for Brazoria County. It's got an open waiting list and a less smaller population. Let me tell you how you play that game, okay? I'm going to tell you a little secret about how I'm able to get people vouchers, especially for California. So here's the interesting story. I had a lady, she's about 56. She's in LA. And of course, I'm shaking my head and I'm already cursing under my breath. Really, I've got to deal with LA again. It's impossible. So, what I do is I start doing federal public requests and compelling housing authorities for every county in California. Then what I do is I meticulously target the weak ones. In other words, I compel them to tell me how many in their waiting list. So I target counties with 100, 200 vouchers. And then this is how the game plays out. Once I target your little housing authority, let's just say in little Buckaroo town, I get you in on that voucher. And then what I do is I port you right back into the city. You see how I play those games? I'm very clever at what I do. I'm not trying to pump my own ego, but there's lots of ways to play the game and win, okay? So a lot of people that lady, I actually ended up moving her in a very rich city and only had 38 people in the waiting list. Why did nobody apply in that city? Because everybody was rich. So it worked to my advantage. Now that I know that exists, guess what I'm doing? I'm hammering the shit out of that housing authority and I'm pumping clients through it, okay? They've done an excellent disinformation campaign to keep people away from their little village. Now I'm using their housing authority. I'm making them work for me. And then what I do is I port them right back into LA. Make no mistake now, porting is not an easy project. So for you, going back to Houston and Katie and all that, we start on the outside and I'll port you right back in. You see how that might work out? So there's a lot of things, tricks in my book. I could go on for 14 hours when it comes to that. Let's see. If you need any graphic work done, I'll be happy to. M7, yes. Actually, I do. And, one thing I'll tell you guys, that website, Section 8 Consultant. Look, guys, if any of y'all are really good with spelling, grammar, you really do good work. I'm not talking about put it and drop it in Word and all that. I'm looking for some people that can really do some, not good writing. I need you to check what I'm writing and make sure that everything's coming off as professional, okay? I cannot pay $80 for every 200 words. That's fucking crazy. I'm not doing that. I don't mind paying $20 an hour or something, but I'm not going to pay $80 for every 20 words. Can you imagine my website's 80 pages? So I would have to, $750,000 just for a writer. It would be more like bringing you on board for a while. Graphic design, yes. Actually, I'm looking at this cyber mixologist stuff you see up here. I'm going to rebrand that to go around my website. And so I'm going to kind of get rid of cyber mixologist. My channel will always be named that because it's unique and I like it. But all that branding up there is going to change for the website. So, yeah, I could probably use your help, M7. Shoot me some little bit of work. And, 80 pages we can play with graphically, trust me. And so I know my full stack designer, he's going to be pretty soon going to be asking me for pictures, photos, and graphics. So maybe we can work something out, Let's see what other questions we got here. Paulette Peace, thank you. Well, Paulette, thanks for joining us. We're just kind of talking about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and about porting vouchers, getting vouchers. Guys, we're facing the next big round or wave of people that are going to be freshly put out their apartments, the middle class people that have never been low income in their life are now becoming low income, and this summer is, I got to tell you, I'm not looking forward to all the emails. I want to help people, obviously, but I'm just concerned that this is going to be the biggest wave that we've seen. And I know that I'm not going to, as a one person can handle all that. I barely got through rental assistance at 2,000 people. That was over 10,000 emails in 4 months. And even with working 80, 90 hours a week, I didn't even touch all the emails that were sent to me. You can see it's run me ragged. So I can only imagine what's going to happen. Now we all know that the federal memorandum stopped March 31st, I believe, and I think that's tomorrow. And so let the games begin, and it'll start tomorrow. And the channel will again spike with desperate people. For some cities, it's been extended all the way to June. But for most cities and counties, a lot of people are going to be going to eviction court. And so I imagine my emails going to look a lot like a stock market chart where it's just flipping through a lot of emails. So God knows I'm not looking forward to reading all of that. Let's see. How long have we been on, guys? I know I've been right along 49 minutes. I'm going to give you guys another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to call it a day. So if y'all got questions or whatever it may be, now's the time to ask. about rental assistance, Section 8, housing choice vouchers, or if you just want to tell me something interesting, I'm up for that. For those of you that are my members that have joined, look, guys, 150 videos successfully, 6 years on YouTube. I offer those memberships. So the join button down there in my channel is a way of thanking me. Most of you guys have been up for a while doing that. I think this membership like $2. Most of you guys spend more than that on a lot of tickets and beer on the weekend. So if you really want to support me and show your appreciation, those little memberships do help. It helps pay for this stuff. And to be frank with you, a great deal of money got spent just on cats, saving lives lately. Trying to keep my kitties healthy. Let's see if we have more questions. It's hard to get housing and voucher in Orlando, Florida. Well, I got to tell you, Florida's tough, period. So you would want to address that from an outside county and then do porting and billing into that city. It's a bit of a process and a hassle, but you might want to start in a smaller county and then approach it from that angle. It is difficult, but let me tell you something. It's only difficult when you don't understand the questions and the answers. So look, there are things that are built into these 1,100-page manuals they train their people with. So when they sit down and they spend 2 or 3 months reading manuals, there are specific things written in there that say, if he says he's got this problem, and this problem, this will move him from number 10,000 up to number 5,000. So you can imagine after 2 decades of me doing this, exactly what the highlighter's been hitting. I know exactly what they are. And it's not the stuff you guys think. I get a lot of you go, oh, well, I've got a disability. It's sold. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm thinking, oh, well, you know what? You've got one. You've got one technicality. You've got one specific thing. Look, you got to tell them the right things. You have to have the right problems in place. And if you don't have those problems, if they don't exist in your life, then maybe you need to invent them. Because otherwise, you're going to wait 10 years. Think of how many people are just low income. So you're low income and you feel entitled to get housing. That's only going to make you wait 15 years. If you don't, I just got to tell you guys, if you don't know the specific things, then the best thing you can do is hire a consultant. Because I don't think any of my clients really wait more than a year or two. So there's lots of clever ways to do this stuff. It depends on the situation and how you want to address it. So let's see what else we got. Texas. Well, first of all, you want to avoid all your big counties. So Harris, Denton, and all that, and Fort Worth. If you can step about 1 or 2 counties out from the big city, as far as what parts, well, you have to be careful with that, because if you get in very rural towns, then they have what they call a trifecta, which means they'll pull 8 or 9 counties together, and then it's just as much bullshit as it is to deal with a big city. So I would suggest targeting cities with a population of no greater than 80,000 people, and I could probably fly you right through their system. But if you're going to go to Denton and Dallas and Austin and all that stuff, you're asking for a wait. Even with my talents, it would still take a while. So just to give an example for Houston, I would go over 2 counties to maybe to Brazoria or maybe Magnolia, one of the other big counties and smaller counties, get you in there and then just try to port you back into the city. So it's you have to play the game smartly if you want to get through it. It's a rigged system, so the only way to compete is to unrig it. Sandra Carter, KY. Well, when I hear those 2 words, only one thing comes to mind. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Does a prior balance on public housing for 5 years hinder? It depends. Is it in the state? Is it in the same county? Or so it depends. Housing authority. A lot of people confuse. Look, HUD is the Department of Housing, Washington, D.C. So a lot of people think when you go to the housing authority, that's the HUD building. It's not. I don't give a shit if it says HUD on the side of the building or not. That is not HUD. It is a housing authority that is administered by state or city officials. So every housing authority keeps track of what it does. It doesn't keep track of what you did over there in New Jersey or Florida. So I would say if you had a debt over 5 years, it likely might not show up if you were out of the county in another state, especially considering 5 years ago, the housing authority records were not that great. They're getting good now. They're going digital. And a lot of you guys have been flying around and screwing housing authorities around the country. It's going to be Armageddon for y'all, because once they really digitize most of this, they started in 2014 and they're almost there. And once they digitize most of these housing records, These generational vouchers in like Jersey and New York, where families keep cheating the system. They're all going to find themselves on the sidewalk, because when it goes digital, it's game and match. Hopefully meant for Kentucky. Good evening. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Paulette. So, ladies and also gentlemen, we got a few minutes left on the video. I've been talking now for 54 minutes. So, we've been talking about vouchers and housing, and there's questions. If you got them, you're going to want to ask me in the next 5 minutes, because at the end of the video. Now, look, guys, I'm on Central Standard Time, good Texas time. So if you want to catch me again for Q&A like this, it's going to be Saturday. I'm going to try to do it at 7 o'clock at night. That should be 8 o'clock New York time. That should be 7 o'clock Central Mountain Time. And if you're on the West Coast, Cali up to Washington, I think that's 2 hours behind me, if I'm correct. So always check your time zone for that. But Saturday around that time. Can someone move again with PSH? Yes, you can. Now, the PSH is administered by nonprofits. Remember, that's not so much porting. It's a different process, but you can, especially if you suffer domestic violence, an action of criminality, or also the building may have inspection issues, burned down, or other issues. You'd probably want to get with me with that. I'm pretty good at leveraging. Let's just say I can make nonprofits cooperate with PSH. You'll comply, or we'll take it. I can take it to the district office for the housing, not the housing authority. See, I'm getting tired now. Let's just say I have a way to compel them to do what I want them to do under federal rules. So yes, there's a way to make it happen. Is it quick? It's not always. The pandemic, less employees, more people working from home, so it may take a little bit to get that to go through. Let's see what else we got here. So yes, permanent supportive houses is PSH, just like RRH is rapid rehousing and so on. So I can tell you're familiar with the different types of programs that are out there. So you're going through a COC, a CES, or a BOSE system, and then you go into what they call it HMIS network system, which is their database. So yeah, I can kick out good terms too. There isn't an issue with the new apartment we're moving in, but I wonder if there was a way to move after 2 years. Well, absolutely. I mean, you're not going to rock the boat with that. You need to get with the issuer of the voucher. I don't know. It could be Catholic Charities. Who knows who it is? But you get with them and then tell them that you would like to that totally slipped my mind. You need to get with them and ask if, not to port, but I'm going to have to end this video soon because I'm getting pretty tired. I'll tell you what, shoot me an email and I'll let you know. I'm sorry, guys. I've been talking for nearly an hour and I've had a very long day, so my brain's starting to not work. Emailing you soon. Okay. Well, guys, look, I've enjoyed talking with you. Like I said, this is not intended as a video to be a definitive guide. I just wanted to answer questions, let y'all talk to me, see the kitty cat, stuff like that. And then I'm going to make another one Saturday. I'll probably be more refreshed. You guys, I've got about 150 videos y'all can watch, and keep an eye out for the new website. It's going to be nice, really, really nice. Trust me on that deal. And then I'm going to be picking up consulting in about a week again. So for those of you that need consulting, I charge $40 for 30 minutes. You're talking to me on the phone for quite a while. Trust me. Sometimes this conversation going for an hour and you don't get charged extra. I'm a pretty reasonable guy. So I'm going to wish you all a good night. I want to thank all my members for joining me tonight and supporting the channel. And for those of you who are new, I'm excited to have you around. Hopefully you can benefit from the things that I'm telling you. And if you need help, I'm always genuinely here to help. This has never been about money. I have a real job. So when I ask for consulting fees, it's simply to compensate me for my time. Okay. All right. Y'all have a good night.